Luck.
I'm gonna have to remember those sounds when in my memory bank of my brain. I won't have to rely on the recorder. So okay, so we can work through this all together. Cha, chaka, chaka, cha, chaka, chi, chikko, chi, chikko, chu, chukun kana, chu, chukun kana, cha, chakme, cha, chakme, che, chikos, che, chikos. And remember, I was saying that if you wanted to draw little lines, Mary, can you do that with Juk Un Kana with your little marker? Can you draw Juk Un Kana with a line or something?
I can't on this screen. If I did it in the editing part, I could. So I could have that
Okay.
for us next week.
Well, if yeah, that could be a good help. It just rates up the word to the syllables.
Hey,
Okay. Where are we at? Chikos cho chopnakot cho chopnakot ha hasik ha hasik he himo he himo ho hochok ho hochok ka kas opas ka kas opas ki kisnok ki kisnok go kope go kope ka kastoki ka kastoki ke koka ke koka ko to make ko to make. Notice the raised dot there and how I had to lengthen the I. Ko to make sa sahak no sa sahak no se 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 so what so what la swa la swa le sha le sha lo sen lo lo sin, ma, mak, ma, mak, me, mitskik, me, mitskik, mo, mok, mo, mok, na, nahik, na, nahik, ne, nisi, ne, nisi, no, nok sa nana, nok sa nana. Okay, on the L, the third one from the bottom, you'll notice that everywhere else, like nahik, N-A, nahik. I said nahik. But you'll notice at those three, la, swa, le, sa, lo, sin, that the emphasis was put on the last syllable. And that is because in the Ktunaxa, the only thing, as far as I know, one of the only things that goes up on the end are names. So those are like names or referring to somebody. So that's the difference there. If anybody caught that la swa, le sa, lo sin, compared to mitskik, nahik, nisi, nana. So I just want to point that out as I was saying it. That was what sort of popped out. Okay, next slide. Okay, this is where we'll break up into our rooms.
So you just want to break out into two groups here, Alfred?
Yeah, let's break up into two groups.
And with you in one and Mara in the other?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to go into him now or any other instructions?
I think we can let's see, let's go into them for about 20 minutes and then we'll call everybody back. See how far we get in 20 minutes.
Sounds good. So about 8 o'clock Mountain or a minute or two after that. Yeah. Sounds good. Okay. So you should be getting a notification to join room 1 or room 2. Alfred. I'm just going to move Mara to room 2. Did you get a notification to join, Alfred? Hey, Sana. Just me and you. Oh, there you go.
Recording in progress.
Are we all back in?
I believe so. So we got as far as we didn't start the everyday classroom.
Oh, good, because I had to squeeze in some quick sounds there. That's where we started or ended off as well. And we had a question as far as the recordings. We were going to ask if you could do them anyway so that we could listen to them again on the recordings.
Oh, for all of them?
For the classroom items, he.
Okay, I will. So from the numbers, is that what you're looking at?
They asked specifically for the classroom items, but if you want to record the numbers or
Okay.
sing it together, because just then they'll have a recording
No.
for it.
The classroom items I can do because then my group can hear them. Just a minute. I'm not sharing my screen. Am I?
I'll bring mine up for you, Alfred.
Okay, I've got mine here, but I will. I don't know how to get out of it. Okay, I'm on my screen. I see my slide. How do I get out of it? X on top?
If you click
Hello?
on, oh, hey Alfred, I think if you click on share, oh, here we go. I can stop your sharing.
Okay, good.
I guess that means I'm sharing mine, but then I'll stop mine too. There we go.
Okay, Mary, you have the everyday classroom items on there? So I'm assuming you're sharing yours now? Cause mine is still on.
Yeah, mine. I've
Okay.
seen mine.
The first one is Konakinmos. Konakinmos. Yeah, go ahead. Konakinmos. I'm not going to be worried about the KQ because that would be kokon, kokonakinmos. But I'm not going to, if we can start the Q, konakinmos. Ke gionakniam. 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 For chair. Etoxiscamos. Etoxiscamos. Kawatskin cuisine. Kawatskin cuisine. So you'll notice that in cuisine, there's two eyes, sounding eyes in there. Gue, which is a short, sin. Cuisine. Natanik nana. Natanik nana. Kito siskas. I think there's going to be a Q in there.
Oh,
Can you check that? Siskas. Because kitoxiscamos basically says the thing you write with. Okay, next slide. Okay, I'm still watching my slide, so I don't know what where you guys are at, but I can hear you. Backpack, that's homos. That's homos. Itoxiscas. Itoxiscas. So anything with paper, they had the same word for that. Itoxiscas. And they took that word from when they would do messages on the ground with rocks, usually with rocks or piles of sticks, indicating a certain story or something. They would direction a person is to take. They would use or we would use the sticks to indicate, and there were very specific ways. So that was called itoxiscas. And so when the books and papers came in, they just carried that word and put it to the letters and books because those were directional things. So itoxiscas. Tapsi o tapsitmos. 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 Kanokitmos. Or kanokitmo. Kanokitmo. School bus. Kanokitmo. Ko kanas. Oh, sorry. On my screen, the two words are separated, so I'm looking at it a little cross-eyed here. One I want to go to the left bottom, and the other one's on the far right bottom. Kokonas itoxiscas. Kokonas itoxiscas. This word means the setting of the letters away. So when they were the elders back when the computers first started coming into play, they were asked, "Can you guys make up a word for a computer?" So this is what one of the words that came up with. Kokonas itoxiscas. So the writings are going away somewhere, basically what that means. Okay, and I think that's it, right?
Okay.
Okay, do you want me to go back and you guys can pretty well see what those are and write the English if you want in there, right? There's a ruler, chair, pencils, lunch bucket, clock, paper, backpack, books, glue, school bus, and a computer. Okay, I'm going to X out on top. Oh, there we are. So any questions?
I have one question, but the screen is gone a little bit, but the bottom left word on the first of the two screens had a word where you had the emphasis the last syllable, and that was again unusual, I found.
On this slide or the first one?
The first one, this one, the lunch bucket.
Okay, so what's in cuisine? Yeah, the way I learned that word was there's two. When we were taking language with one of our elders back in the 80s, 81, I asked her about sort of either leftovers or lunch, and she said cuisine. So that was one of those sort of words that break the rule.
Thank you for
Because
that.
if I said it, yeah, if I said it the other way, if I said question, question, oh, what's your question? And fluent speaker heard me say that, they'd ask me, what the hell are you trying to say? There is no such thing as question. So it's question.
Okay, thank you for the clarification, Alfred.
Okay. Any other questions?
This is Graham. I find that I have a hard time with figuring out the barred L because I've come to understand that it's a kind of a combination of an English TH and an L. And I have a hard time figuring out how to make that sound happen. And then listening to it in words, I sometimes lose the L and it feels like more of just a TH. So I'm wondering if you can offer any advice on that.
Okay, what you do is you place the tip of your tongue at the base of your bottom teeth and the top of your lower gum. And blow out and just vocalize that blow that you're making, like
Keep your jaw together.
go See, when I make that noise, my the air comes out the left side of my tongue out to the side of my mouth. It's probably because I've got Bell's palsy and the other side isn't working, but sha. Sha. Okay, it looks like your tongue is curled upward.
Huh.
Yeah. There you go.
I keep
Yeah,
a
you just have to
straight
practice
tongue. Thank you.
Yeah. And allow the sound to come out the side of the mouth, like a side of the tongue, I should say. Sa. That was a very interesting sound because there is someone else, I don't know who it is, but they're teaching them. I ran into someone that was having very difficulty with that sound, and she said she was taught to make that sound by putting the tongue up to the top of the mouth, which you do get that same sound. It's probably easier to go, but the problem is if you go to the top of the mouth to add, combine that with an A or an I or AN, it's very difficult. So if you put the tip of your tongue to the bottom, it goes right into, let's say, if I want to say shoe, it's san, san, san. And then if I try to say that with the making a Bard L sound with the tip of the tongue to the top of my roof of my mouth, san, is not as loud as if it goes to the bottom. And so when we were talking, she said, I told her where to place the tongue and to blow out to the side. And she tried that and she said that was way better because that making that sound that way allows you to flow into the next letter more smoothly. So, you know, again, because it's a language where we learned it just by listening and mimicking other people. That's how I learned it. And, you know, we never did have to describe how to make all these sounds. And a lot of thought went into that, trying to figure out how to make all these different sounds and that. So as close as possible to what we have. So I'm sort of achieving my most is because I'm doing a lot of talking, I'm starting to slobber all over. So okay, any other questions or difficulties?
Alfred, I was just wondering if you can do, just because we weren't recording earlier, can you do the hard K and the hard Q again?
Okay, can you put up the slide with those words? Or the vocal exercise, I guess. Okay. Okay, the hard K, ka, ka, kastuki, kastuki. The Q, I'm going to use the word koyo, koyo. Ka, kastuki, koyo. So the ka is middle of the mouth, explosive out. Ka, ka. And can you go to the hard Q? Or I guess I brought my okay. And the hard Q here is ka, ki, ko, ka. Sorry, I'm not thinking here. Ka, ki, ko, ka, ki, ko. The hard Q, you want to try and get it to the far back and vibrate the bottom of your throat right at the bottom. Ka, ki, ko. Okay, I always come up with these weird things. So now this has been one of the things that I was doing this week. So we go, I call it find the frog or find the toad. Find the toad. So you go with the hard K sound and then work that sound back. close your mouth. So you find the frog or find the toad. So you go. Okay, so that allows you to practice the hard K sound that you're making right at the start of finding the toad. And as you work that sound back and close your mouth, then you start getting that, that's where you find the toad. That's where you get the sound. Like, so that would be a good exercise. That was one of the things that came to my brain over the week, trying to teach a difference between the K and the Q. So that's sort of a little exercise you can play, find the toad. So it's can you hear the sounds? Okay. So that's sort of a very good exercise to be able to notice that the sound goes from here, from the middle, and then as you're making a noise, you want it to go back and back over to about there. So that would be a good exercise. So is the hard Q. And it's a matter, I believe, because I never had the problem before, but for people that have never had to use that sound or those the vocal muscles at the back, you know, it's a little bit difficult. So all we have to do is just work at it and we'll get to it eventually. So any other questions? You know, again, the gull, seagull, or gullible, gull, g. You do the, and you separate the g as in gullible or seagull, then you should be able to have the sound as close to the hard Q sound as possible, and the Q sound. Okay, any other questions?
I was just thinking you should have fun with us next week and make up a few sounds like the Ktunaxa elephants or something, and you can hear us try that one.
Oh, you don't have to worry about me not thinking about the language every day or coming up with some silly thing. I always say I have to be ahead of the class all the time. So that's probably why that find the toad came to my mind. Because the k and the k are two different sounds, and they're in both two different places of in the mouth. So okay, and I think that's it. Any other questions? And
I just wondered, how long will we have access to the recordings for?
As long as Alfred permits us to leave them up, I guess.
Okay, thanks.
And Mara?
yeah, and one of the things that the way I see Mara has set up all the different slides. This is basically a very Ktunaxa language course that you could put into the school system. Because everything is very simple and it's repetitive. So
I guess that's a question I have, is whether Alfred and Maren, you don't need to answer this now, but whether participants can use a slide or something to share with their class, or to share. I don't know if you thought about that or had an answer to that. But.
no, we'll think about it and see. That's been one of the thoughts that I've been thinking about, because for the many years I've been working with the language, there's been always a talk about setting up a curriculum for the schools. And I believe that this is a good start for that. And that we are, for those in this group, I started a language Zoom class here about a year and a half ago. We started in May of not this year, but last year. And so I thought, I'm going to teach a language. I'm going to be teaching it my way of how I see it could be taught. I want to see if it's going to work. And so we are sort of a rogue, not a rogue, but a very advanced thinking group with the language. We have got, our lessons have got I've got no ties to KNC, our Nation Council. We have got ties to the St. Mary's Reserve in Cranberry, because they host the Zoom room, and it was all an experiment, and so we've been going. So when Duncan asked us to that some of you wanted to join and learn a little bit about the language, the in-depth teaching I was doing with my language group wasn't what I would see useful for this group. So we shifted gears, and Mary and I worked and created this program here for a 12-week. So the one that I'm teaching with my other group that are going in depth into endings, into verbs, usage of verbs, and that I didn't think that would be useful for this group. So we created this program, and yeah, so a lot of people in our tribe don't even know this is going on, because we are, like I said, we are very forward moving, and when we are asked to do something, if we can do it, we will do it. So just in case you guys sort of run into people that don't know what you guys are talking about, because it isn't a nation, the Ktunaxa Nation program. So okay, that's it.
Thank you very much, Sukni.
Sukini.
Zucchini.
Sukini.
Okay, we'll see you guys next week then. So just me it.
Jeesu Kishmet.
Jeesu Kishmet.
Kiisuk tishmiä käpineskes. There's a lot of great sounding out there. Love it.
Such a fun night. Thank you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mhm.
Again.
Cindy,
And
you're
when they
taking over
get-
next week.
Yeah, I just learned that the Bardell on the bottom instead of the top.
That was
Me
so
too.
helpful.
Like, that's awesome. Yeah.
Well, good question.
Good.
Yes.
Tomorrow. On when it get.
I'm gonna get.
Okay, see you next week.
Thanks, guys.